Okay, FM105, WKLC. With me on the line now, George Thorogood. George, how's it going?
Sir. Well, it's my first interview of the day.
Where are you calling from?
California.
It's been really cold here. Hopefully to warm up in time for the concert, though, March 11th.
Uh-huh.
We're all set for the show. We can't wait.
All right.
Yeah, Steve Earle's opening up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that should be a great show. I know that Chuck Berry, Hank Snow, Howlin' Wolf, Elmer James are just a few of your influences. Who else really influenced George Thorogood?
I mean, the people that I kind of molded the Delaware Destroyer style were like Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers, John Hammond, the Rolling Stones, the early Rolling Stones.
Right, right.
Before they put out Satisfaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the great stuff.
When they were real dirty and getting kicked out of hotels and stuff. And that was basically what I kind of put this whole thing together as, like a kind of a melting pot of all those, different influences.
Well, it's working.
Well, it's paying the rent.
Yeah. When did you start playing rock and roll?
Well, I can't remember a time when I wasn't playing, to tell you the truth. I think I started becoming really active in it about 1973. And before that, I was, I really, about 71, I decided that this was what I was going to do with my life, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, basically, I started out playing blues, though, not really rock and roll blues, but...
Well, that blues sound really comes through in your music. I think
that's the whole thing. It's just kind of blues with a beat, you know what I mean?
Right. You did a live LP in Cincinnati a few years ago. Now, when you go out on a tour, do you tape the whole tour? Do you set out for one show, or do you tape every show? How's that work?
We tape all the shows.
So we'll be taping the Charleston show?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So watch your language.
And you talk too much. The Thorogood humor comes through. Is that, I know a woman like that, but is that about one particular woman, or is that about people in general?
That's just a kind of a universal statement in general. It's, that can be meant for, if it was a woman singing it, it could be directed towards a man, or
right.
However which way you want to interpret it, but it's definitely meant to be like a funny song.
It's about diarrhea of the mouth, basically.
Constipation of the brain.
All right, let's play that one now. You talk too much. This is George Thorogood at FM105. Okay, you talk too much, George Thorogood, with us live on the phone here. George, somewhere down the line you acquired a nickname, Lonesome George. How did that come about? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I do. There was a guy I used to hang around with when I was a kid, and he was actually like about a year younger than me. This guy could have been a big country western star if he had wanted to. I mean, he had an excellent voice. He played the guitar reasonably well enough, and he had fantastic charisma, and he was good looking. And, women went for him, and he always had girls with him all the time, and I never had any with me ever. And this sounds like a usual story you hear all the time, but he was sidetracked, you know what I mean?
Right.
He was distracted. If it wasn't for that, he might have gone somewhere in this. And I spent, as a result, I spent a lot more time with the music, and he spent a lot more time with the women.
Hence.
And he'd always have 2 or 3 girls, and he'd say, why don't one of you girls go over and be with George? And they'd say, no. And he started calling me Lonesome George.
Yeah, George is just wrapped up in his music, right?
Well, I kind of had to be, because he'd have the women, and while he was messing around with these women, I'd go over into his room and play his records and play his guitar, because I had nothing else to do, you see?
Yeah.
So as a result, I became kind of a music aficionado, and he became kind of a
women aficionado.
A Don Juan,
Yeah.
And as a result, now he's married and got a couple of kids, and weighs about 250 pounds, and he's miserable, and I'm out here in California cutting records, so I guess it pays to be lonesome, Mark.
I guess so. On Born to be Bad, you've got what appears to be a tattoo. Is that real?
No, it's just
Okay, I thought maybe you were taking yourself real serious here.
No.
For the record, Born to be Bad. And
it's I just sound bad,
Right.
When I was a kid, I went to see that movie West Side Story, And that guy was a leader of the Sharks there.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
I'd look at him and I'd say, God, why can't I look like that? Why can't I be like that guy? And it was, then realistically, I'd watch, that kid on My Three Sons, the
Robbie or
Chip or whatever.
Chip.
I'd say, now that's more like it. That's as bad as I'm going to get.
But at least you can portray this bad image, right?
Well, I figured if I can't look bad and I'm not bad, I'll sound bad.
There you go.
I would have preferred, the record company never went there, but I was strongly opposed to my picture being on any of our records. I didn't want my picture on any of them. I said, with this sound and the way I look, you'll never sell any records. When we first started playing, I would play, and the way I look and the way I'd play, and people would listen to with the sound that was coming out of my mouth and the guitar, and they would look at me and they'd go, this somehow this just doesn't, I said, well, maybe someday I'll be 45 or 50 and got a couple teeth missing, and you know what I mean?
Then you'll look bad.
And then, maybe my body will have to catch up to my sound.
Well, the bad sound really came through in '82 with Bad to the Bone. Great video.
I had a really good time doing that.
Funny at the end, too.
Yeah. That's my own little piece there at the end, with the cigar there.
Right.
Which I actually stole from Eli Wallach from Good, Bad, and the Ugly, but that's okay.
It's a classic. Bad to the Bone at FM105. Yeah, FM105 with George Thorogood at George Thorogood and the Destroyers. George, several songs about alcohol. Do you get much negative reaction about this?
Well, actually, we only have 2 songs about that. We have 7 albums out. If you don't count the live album, which is just a duplicate of our other stuff. We got, 6 albums with 10 songs on each record. That's 60 songs.
Right.
And only 2 of them have anything to do with that. So the problem is that those 2 are the ones everybody, connects us with.
Right.
And that's just the roll of the dice, There doesn't. One of those songs, I Drink Alone, we did get a little bit of, negative feedback from an organization out here in California.
It's all in fun, though. And I Drink Alone, you hit, I think every kind of alcohol there is. What is your particular favorite, or do you have one?
Well, I've been playing rock and roll for a long time now, and I've seen a lot of rock and rollers come and go, and I've seen a lot of beers, too. I've always liked Miller Lite. Yeah, but I don't just drink it because it's less filling,
It tastes great.
That's right.
I'm a beer man myself, too. When's the 8th album coming?
The 8th wonder of the world?
Right.
I don't know. When we get enough songs, I guess, and they have to be good ones. At least as good as the ones on the other records. And until we get that, we will just stand pat.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to the show.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning. Make sure you go down there and get them real soon. Steve Earle's opening up. Great guy. And what a year for Steve so far, huh?
I saw him on television last night, and I won't say I was shocked, but I was greatly surprised when I saw him on television.
Yeah, quite impressive.
He wasn't playing, he was just talking.
Oh, yeah. What was he on?
David Letterman.
Letterman. See, I missed Letterman one night, and I missed Steve Earle.
He didn't say anything about me, but that's okay.
Well, maybe next time. I'm sure if you're on, you'll talk about Steve, though, right?
I don't think they're going to have me on, Mark.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I'm sure real soon. Once the 8th Wonder comes out. Because if Born to be Bad is any indication, next album should be just as good. The big show is March 11th. We're looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, George.
Well, Mark, my pleasure, and I want you to come around and say hello to us if you can.
We will. We'll be back there.
I mean you.
All right, great.
And I want you to tell your listeners who come to the show to wear the safety belt to the show and wear the safety belt, especially going home from the show.
It's funny. I'm from Ohio, and it's a law in Ohio to wear a safety belt, but here it isn't, and I think it should be.
It should be everywhere.
That's right.
It's a good policy.
Yeah. All right, George. Well, we'll see you at the show, definitely.
Okay, Mark.
All right. Tell Mike thanks.
I will.
And we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.